Well, hello, EKN Nation, and welcome to This Week in Karting. We are recording episode number 50. It is October 13th, 2022. I am David Cole. We're going to be joined by EKN editorial assistant Nate Dean as we provide you all the major news that has hit the EKN homepage over the past couple of weeks. It has been since September 14th, 2022 of our last episode. So again, plenty of news items to kind of cover and go over in this new episode, the 50th episode. Again, This Week in Karting is perfect for listening on the way to work or coming home, ideal for your morning or afternoon commutes, or again, while you're sitting there in the garage working on in the shop or even heading to the racetrack. As you can download the podcast, you can listen to it on the EKN Radio Network when we debut it, and it'll be on the airwaves tomorrow morning. Right bright and early so you can listen and again download later for your listening pleasure. This episode is presented by Hyperfuels. Need race fuel and oil? Hyperfuels is an authorized distributor for several of the brands that are specific fluids in American karting, including ELF and Aspen Sport. They also stock and ship methanol. Hyperfuels has a web store that can take your orders 24 hours, 7 days a week, and they ship UPS. That's right. Hyperfuels can ship fuel and oil right to your door. Whether you need ELF Racing Fuels or ELF HTX 909 oil or Aspen Sport 98 octane fuel for SCUSA competition, they have it in stock. When you need it now, go to hyperfuels.com. So again, Nate Dean, we are recording our most recent episode. It's been a month. It's, we're trying to get regular with the episodes. Unfortunately, we were busy. We had the United States Pro Kart Series that weekend, and then we went double weekends with Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals and the Race Rotax U.S. Trophy Final. So we've been a bit busy for the last essentially 4 weeks.
Yeah, Newcastle's kind of become a second home for most of us after wrapping up the season for a couple of the series. Of course, it's mentioned it's been a while since we've done one of these, but a lot of things to talk about in that month. So getting into that.
Yeah, a lot of good things to talk about, a lot of good topics. And then we're kind of setting up some more topics that are going to be coming in next week's show. We're going to get at least 2 or 3 shows in before we get to the Super Nationals. So we're going to have a lot of news to talk about, including a lot of stuff that's kind of happening at the end of this week and then going into next that will be coming up. But let's begin with some of the bigger news. Again, a lot of big topics to cover in this episode, beginning with SuperKarts USA Spring Nationals set for the new K1 circuit in Southern California for 2023. Nate, this is a big news. This was something we were kind of hoping to see with a new construction of the K1 circuit in Winchester, California, just southeast of all the downtown area, really close to Temecula, which is near the SuperKarts USA headquarters. So this is an exciting time for Southern California with this new facility coming to life.
Yeah, for sure. And we talked about it when it was first initially announced of, this is a growing market in the karting community in Southern California, and it's going to be good for them. I think when we saw this, there was always some talk about what series would go there first. The SCUSA Spring Nationals have always kind of bounced around from track to track, and they haven't really had that set in stone Newcastle and NOLA dates that we're kind of used to. So I think some of us saw this coming to Spring Nationals. It looks like a fun track. It looks like a good mix between long straightaways and some technical areas. It looks fast. It looks flowing. So I'm thinking drivers will like this one.
Yeah, and what the videos don't really show is the elevation. That's something we've talked with the K1 circuit about. There's a lot of elevation to this racetrack, so that's going to be something unique and different for everybody that's been used to Cal Speed. Yeah, it kind of has a little bit of elevation, but I think this is going to be amped up a little bit more. So that's going to be interesting because this is a 1.1 mile circuit, again, multi-configuration circuit. But the standard national track, which I think they're going to utilize, will be the 1.1 mile course. Again, Spring Nationals is scheduled for June 9 through 11, rounds 3 and 4. That's going to be the middle portion of the SuperKarts USA Pro Tour. as you said, it's been kind of moving around. Now it's kind of found a home in the June month, which is essentially on the doorstep of summer. So it's a little bit of a late spring event, but it gets the job done. As you said, replaces the Utah Motorsports Campus, which has been the home of the Spring Nationals for the last 3 editions of that event. Not only will the Pro Tour go to the K1 circuit, but also the SuperKarts USA California Pro Kart Challenge will visit the K1 circuit 4 times in 2023, counting for 5 of the 7 rounds that they're going to host next season. So essentially, the K1 circuit is going to become the home of the California Pro Kart Challenge in 2023 and possibly beyond.
Yeah, and with other news that we'll get into after the break that kind of explains why we go there so much. But I think looking at it, you did say there's elevation there. It's kind of hard to see because most of what K1 has put out is those aerial shots, so you can't pick up on that too much. Once you start to look at their onboard footage, you can see that a bit better. But I'm really excited to see what kind of racing this produces. We talked a little about a few months ago. This is going to be like what Newcastle is to the Midwest and what GoPro is to the East Coast. It's going to hopefully be a hub for karting on the West Coast. And from the looks of it and from the talks, I think a lot of people are excited.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It may be that Newcastle of California or the Southwest really region, or the GoPro of the East. Essentially, you kind of got a good correlation there. And also, this racetrack's going to have lights, so there's going to be some night racing. I know one of the events at the California Pro Kart Challenge will be under the lights, so that's certainly going to bring a new element and certainly a fun factor for racers at the California Pro Kart Challenge. So let's continue on with more SuperKarts USA news, as we recently were made aware that SuperKarts USA is expanded the KA Junior category for Super Nationals 25 to 88 drivers. So, Nate, this is kind of a cool. They said they weren't going to expand a lot of classes, but I think just the demand to race at the Super Nationals is kind of making SCUSA kind of turn that around.
Yeah, and back at the Rio this year, back at some familiar territory for some people, and SCUSA have been talking a lot about this being one of the biggest Super Nationals yet, with set to be around that 550 mark. So that would be very, very cool if we can hit that for all 10 categories. Of course, KA being extended to that 88 to other classes like Micro, Mini, X30 Junior. All of them are already sold out at 44. KA Masters, X30 Masters, they're almost sold out. And from the looks of things, nearing that 88 max is already at K100 Junior. So spots already filling up for that. Obviously, a lot of demand. Obviously, a lot of people wanting to come back to Vegas and try and get that Super Nats trophy. And really looking forward to go there and seeing all the racing, all the new faces, and all, hopefully, 550 entries.
Well, and yeah, as you said, KA 100 Senior is going to be likely close to that 88 maximum. X30 Senior as well as Pro Shifter. I think Pro Shifter's pretty much there already. They're just kind of making sure it stays at that 88 number coming into what will be the last couple of weeks, because registration ends on November 1st. So Master Shifter, the only category not close to being sold out or maxing out, but it's still got over 30 entries in that category. So expect a big field in that one. I got a couple messages already this week asking, what are the numbers? And I told them, they're like, you know what, we got to figure out how we can get there and be part of this event. So that, again, we've talked about it before, numbers breed numbers. And this is certainly going to be one of the biggest Super Nationals, not the biggest. We've had, I think it was 2013. We had over 600 entries for that event, but we also had 13 categories. So this could be the largest one in terms of having just 10 categories at the event, and looking forward to seeing where we end up in the total for entries on the event. And then getting to Super Sunday, of course, November 20th will be an amazing day in Las Vegas outside the Rio All Suite Hotel and Casino. So with that, let's go to our first commercial break as we continue on with episode 50 of This Week in Karting. And we'll have some more topics and some more interesting news involving the West Coast and Southern California after this break.
Ready to step up your game? Joining the Rawlison Performance Group is the obvious choice to take your racing to the next level. Industry-leading driver development is provided by our staff of multi-time national champions, Super Nationals winners, and Team USA members. And at the same time, RPG continues to be a national-level powerhouse race team. Our goal is to help you raise your game and win races. We work with all age groups and are focused on developing those cadet and junior drivers who are ready to take the next step in their racing program. Rawlison Performance Group has set a new standard with our in-house engine program, AVP Engines, headed by Alex Vincent. AVP has become the benchmark in IAME competition. We have the largest OTK inventory that follows our race team, providing trackside parts at all the major events in North America. RPG also offers multilingual support with French, Spanish, and Portuguese-speaking staff. If you want to fight for championships or want to improve your skills and your chances to win, the answer is to call RPG at 503-260-4514. The Rawlison Performance Group. We race to win. History, success, family. Those are the three words that can describe Comet Kart Sales, one of the longest tenured karting businesses in the United States. The family-owned operation located just outside of Indianapolis has provided karts, parts, and services for thousands of racers in the near 6 decades of business. Their online store features everything you need, continually adding new parts to their product line. From full karting packages, new engines, spare or replacement parts, and safety gear, find it all at CometKartSales.com. Their Comet Racing Engine service has won multiple major events and championships over decades of karting and continues to offer the best trackside service in the industry, specializing in IAME X30, IAME Swift, and other 2-cycle power plants. Make sure to head to CometKartSales.com or call them at 317-462-3413 to be part of the Comet Kart Sales family today. The Briggs & Stratton 206 engine is where out-of-the-box ease and outstanding consistency meet to create legendary races. Briggs & Stratton's history in motorsports dates back to when the first engines came off the assembly line in the early 1900s. Their focus on the grassroots level continues to help build generations of racers. Since 2008, the Briggs & Stratton 206 has gained a following that has the engine powering the largest fields in North American karting today. From the club level of track programs to traveling regional series and national events, Briggs & Stratton competition provides the most exciting racing in the sport. Engineered and hand-built exclusively for racing, every Briggs & Stratton 206 engine is power tested and serialized before it goes in the box. Karters can take that engine straight from the box to their kart and be on the podium at the end of race day. Be sure to follow Briggs & Stratton Racing on Facebook and through @RaceBriggs on Instagram. To learn more about the 206 engine or to find the North American dealer near you, head to BriggsRacing.com. Briggs & Stratton Racing, what powers you?
And we are back, EKN Nation, to This Week in Karting. Again, episode number 50. This is October 13th, 2022. I am David Cole, joined by Nate Dean, as we provide you some news and notes regarding the sport of karting over the last 4 weeks, since this is our first episode during that time period. One of the big news that came out during that period, the announcement of the Cal Speed Karting Center to close on December 4th. So this is certainly a big hit to the Southern California, West Coast, western half of the country, because the Cal Speed Karting facility outside the Auto Club Speedway has been home to a number of major international, national, and regional events, along with being the home of the Tri-Seat Karters and also Los Angeles Karting Championship as well too. So this is a unique period and unique announcement that came through, Nate, that really caught a lot of us off guard. We knew there was going to be maybe something that was going to change regarding the renovations happening with the Auto Club Speedway. But this certainly wasn't what we thought was going to happen.
Yeah, kind of took us off guard a little bit. It sucks. A lot of drivers, teams, and families have all spoken highly that I know of this track, and it's always sad to see one of these tracks go. Like you said, Auto Club doing some renovations to their track for their NASCAR races, told Cal Speed to cease operations. Their final on-track practice / rental day will be on Sunday, November 27th. So if you want one last chance to get your kart on track, that is the day. They still have a 12-hour endurance race. That'll be the final actually competitive race on that circuit. That'll be on December 3rd. And from what Cal Speed said in their press release, they are still exploring other options in terms of racing and I believe future hosts and tracks in the future.
Yeah, that's kind of the deal, because again, they're a temporary circuit. They really are. They have all the barriers, they have all the tires. Everything they have is movable because of the Auto Club Speedway. They've had to move the race or the actual portions of the racetrack in order for parking for the big events, including NASCAR. I think really NASCAR is the only one they've done because IndyCar hasn't been there for a number of years. So it's mobile. It really is. They've done the machismo at other facilities. They've been at Las Vegas Motor Speedway a couple of times. They did it at the Super Nationals one year as well too. There they didn't have to really bring anything but the carts, but it's a mobile program, the way they're set up. So they have the opportunity, like you said, to possibly move what is Cal Speed Karting away from the actual facility at the Auto Club Speedway and maybe take it to another parking lot somewhere within the Los Angeles area. When you think of big parking lots, probably think of really only, Panoma Raceway, the drag strip there. But maybe some possible other options are sitting there that they're looking at, and time will tell. I'm sure Rob Niles, the owner of Cal Speed Karting, and Mike Smith have been kind of investigating and looking into other options, but really kind of focusing right now on getting things wrapped up and see how, again, as of November or December 4th, they'll have to be out of there, or at least be shut down at that time. So a lot going on there. I'm not too familiar, but I think that's probably the only location I can think of. Maybe Disneyland, maybe they can convince to use some parking lot over there. But again, there's a lot of other places. Maybe, there's some stadiums, Anaheim, where the Angels play down there in Orange, California, other areas too as well. So we'll see what they can come up with, and hopefully there'll be some news before the calendar turns over to kind of get that. Because again, they have a lot of, I think their major business is the rental cart program, aside from, testing days and stuff like that. But their sport cart events all throughout the year are a big business, and certainly provides an opportunity to move to a new location. So I'm not sure if Disney will work out. What do you think, Nate?
No, before we even started talking about this, I went to Google Maps to start looking at parking lots for stadiums in the LA area. I think we could see something similar to what we saw with Hard Rock and some races being held there until another unnamed series kind of took over that track. Anaheim, the Angels Stadium, I think is the one stadium you could do. Looking at it, there's already some tracks from, I think, some autocross events there. I mean, I think that's the best option for there. SoFi is still kind of new and in that LA area, and there's not a lot of space there, but it doesn't have to be near a stadium. It could be near another racetrack. They didn't really give any hints as to what they're thinking for the future, so we'll see what comes of that.
Yeah, we'll see what comes. Hopefully, some news will come out in the coming weeks, or hopefully before again as we turn over the calendar to 2023, because I'm sure a lot of the Southern California race teams, racers, and shops want to know what kind of the future holds. So, luckily their K1 circuit's going to be there, but for Cal Speed themselves, they do want to get that home and continue on. So One of the trickle effects of Cal Speed Karting closing was a change to the Challenge of the Americas schedule for the 2023 season, as they had to move around racetracks. We were looking at possibly opening up the Challenge of the Americas 2023 calendar at Cal Speed Karting in the February 3 through 5th weekend. Unfortunately, that's going to now move to Musselman Honda Circuit in Tucson, Arizona. So we're going to have 2 events in Arizona to open up the year, Nate, and then move to California.
Yeah. So like you said, just going through the list here, we already had dates announced. We're just getting tracks now, but you mentioned Tucson, Arizona, leading things off, staying in Arizona for the second race at Phoenix Kart Racing Association, and then heading to Sonoma, as you usually do with California series. It's still a strong calendar. It is sad that Cal Speed isn't on there, but Challenge of the Americas is looking at some very strong circuits for 2023.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Again, we've had this similar schedule before where we've gone to Musselman, we've gone to Phoenix, and then go to Sonoma. So it's nothing new, but it's certainly going to be a fun one because, again, every time we're with the Challenge of the Americas, it's a great program. Musselman Honda Circuit is probably one of the toughest circuits and most challenging circuits, along with Phoenix Kart Racing Association and Glendale, Arizona there. And then you wrap it up with the picturesque facility of Sonoma Raceway. So excited again. A little bit of a shift. We go February, March, and April this year instead of going January, February, March. So that's going to certainly the momentum will start kicking up around January for this program. And so it'll be an exciting 16th season of the Challenge of the Americas. So with that, we'll head into our second commercial break. Again, this is This Week in Karting, episode number 50 with David Cole and Nate Dean. So we'll have a couple more topics here after this break.
It all started in 1994 when former successful kart driver Albino Parolin decided to move his passion for karting from the track to his small workshop. That's when Parolin was born. Fast forward 20 years and Parolin's passion for the sport led to the company rejoining international competitions as a factory team in WSK and CIK FIA races, with the aim of enhancing the research and development process, immediately achieving notable results around Europe, North America, and Asia, becoming the CIK FIA Asia Pacific KZ champion in the same year. Parolin USA is North America's source for Parolin products, and we run a factory team at all of the major Superkarts USA and Rock Cup USA events. The Parolin chassis lineup for 2021 includes the Invader Shifter, the Le Mans Tag single-speed chassis for junior and senior classes, and the 28mm mini kart for the cadet classes. Parolin has been winning races all over the world, and it's on top of the podium in the USA as well, with drivers like Kai Sorensen, Mateus Orjuela, and Alessandro De Tullio. Get on the chassis that's winning. Drive a Parolin. For more information, head to ParolinUSA.com. Fast, fair, and fun. Ignite Karting offers you all of that at an affordable price. Ignite Karting utilizes the spec Margay Ignite K3 with a Briggs & Stratton 206 engine and a Hoosier R80 tire. Everyone in the junior, senior, and masters classes compete on the same Ignite K3 chassis, which puts all the emphasis squarely on driver development. Additionally, Ignite Karting is accessible at the local, regional, and national level. Special events for the 2023 season include the Ignite Majors, which begins with the annual trip to the Daytona International Speedway as part of the WKA Daytona Kart Week as part of both the sprint and road racing events. Those in the Midwest can enjoy the regionally based Ignite Challenge, which just finished up a record-setting season in 2022. Local club programs have also been established in other states all across the country, from Idaho to Texas, Nebraska to New York, with more tracks and clubs joining the Ignite Karting program. Be part of fast fun and great memories with Margay Racing at an Ignite track near you. All information on Ignite events and Ignite Kart packages, including dealers in your area, are available at ignitekarting.com. Get off the couch and out onto the track in 2023. Ignite Karting. Fuel your passion. Cometic Gasket is a leading worldwide supplier of gaskets and engine sealing solutions for karting, automotive performance, power sports, original equipment, and the remanufactured engine industries. Cometic karting gaskets are available as OE replacement top-end kits or as individual gaskets and seals. Just like competitive karters, Cometic can operate on the fly and has the unique capability to customize any gasket to meet specific engine requirements and clearances. All of Cometic's fiber materials are asbestos-free and do not require any additional sealants. Viton oil ring cylinder head seals are used in each 2-cycle kit, and Cometic's 4-cycle engine kits feature only the most advanced multi-layer steel head gaskets. Cometic can tailor to engine builder-specific needs through bulk ordering and packaging flexibility. Cometic gaskets are must-haves for championship-winning teams across multiple disciplines of both professional and amateur motorsports. Cometic Gasket, sealing championships since 1989.
And welcome back to This Week in Karting, episode number 50. I am David Cole, joined by Nate Dean, as we provide you, again, news and notes from the last 4 weeks, coming to you with the most recent episode, with our last one happening September 14th. So a lot to cover here. We got a couple more news items to hit on that certainly were major parts of the karting sport over the last couple of weeks. That most recently is the new Trackhouse Karting Career Advancement Award to be presented at the IME USA Grand National Championship. So the event that's happening this weekend at GoPro Motorplex will have a special presentation actually happening today, Thursday, October 13th, prior to what will be the Tuner Challenge event in the CRG rental carts there at the GoPro Motorplex. So one lucky driver will be selected. Nate, kind of give us the details of the award.
Yeah, so the driver that is selected will get a test in a Mazda MX-5 car that we've seen so much of and so much action over the 2022 IMSA season with McLear Racing. It's about a $7,500 value, so obviously getting your money's worth for that. And like you said, it'll be announced today at the IAME Grands. Also going along with the IAME Grands, IMSA has partnered with IAME to give $1,000 to the top performing team on the weekend. And then furthermore, will be $800 for the winner of Micro, Mini, KA Junior, and Senior. And then Masters, again, that $800 also coming from IMSA.
Yeah, IMSA and KH Management, along with Trackhouse, are kind of behind all of this, working with the IME USA East and working with the GoPro Motorplex. Certainly, owner Justin Marks of Trackhouse is also co-owner of the GoPro Motorplex, so he does have that connection there. Certainly understands the sport of karting with the facility. Also is part owner of the AMR Homestead Miami Motorplex, presented by MG Tires down in Homestead, Florida. So again, it's a great little program that they've set up to kind of recognize one driver and probably give them an option to move on and again advance past karting again. But this is the long-term goal is to kind of focus on supporting the sport. So again, we'll see what happens. This is just kind of really just the start of this collaboration between those three entities, along with the sport. And of course, IME USA East and MG Tires and the GoPro Motorplex. So, certainly there's a lot that's going to possibly come from this and be a good for the sport as a whole. Because again, as we look at IMSA, we look at some of the drivers under Trackhouse branding. They're all coming from the sport of karting. Certainly IMSA, and you look at the paddock and the roster. There's a number of different drivers that not only got their start in karting, but were successful and have moved on into the other forms of motorsports. KHI Management, Kevin Harvick, behind that, he's a former karter himself. He's actually a karting dad now with Keelan Harvick, who's racing over right now at the IME Warrior Final in Le Mans, France. So certainly kind of a crazy couple of days for the Harvick family in terms of what's going on with the NASCAR situation. Keelan racing over in Europe right now, and of course, being there at GoPro Motorplex for the IAME USA Grand National Championship as well. So a crazy time right now going on in North Carolina, coming off that Roval race that was at Charlotte Motor Speedway. But the next topic on the script is talking about the FIA Karting World Championships, which took place over recently. I believe it was during the United States Pro Kart Series weekend while we were there at Newcastle Motorsports Park. So some big news out of the OK division as we saw Brazilian Matheus Morgado earning the victory on the Kart Republic. I believe the Alonso kart chassis, so manufactured by Kart Republic, but the Alonso Alonso Kart brand is the name. So Matheus, certainly a North American competitor as well. We've seen him race here across the country from back when he was in cadets all the way to most recently the 2022 SuperKarts USA Winter Series X30 Senior Champion. So exciting time to see the Brazilian earn that for that first World Championship.
Yeah, and a lot of drivers within the USPKS paddock when we were there, all tuning in, all very happy to see Matheus get that win, the first win for a Brazilian at that event, I think, in over 20 years from what they were saying on the broadcast. Yes. So a very popular win for him, kind of going through the rest of the top three. Finland's Tuukka Tappinen came home in second on his Tony kart, and then third, Oscar Pettersson from Sweden, again on that Tony, finishing off the OK top three.
Yeah, so that's pretty unique to see three different countries, especially Finland, with Tuukka. I believe he was the defending world champion coming into the event. So again, to be on the podium back-to-back years, that's amazing for him. But to see Brazil, Finland, and Sweden all on the podium, it certainly shows the diversity of karting right now around the world, because you think karting, you think Italy, you think the UK, you think Spain, Portugal, but a number of different countries that are competing and doing well, including the USA drivers. We had two in the OK category, with James Agozi finishing in 11th and Aksha Bora finishing 26th. So again, a driver racing under the USA flag, but a driver we're not too familiar with, but still making the main event and finishing 26th. And then we get into the OK Junior category. Enzo Tarnavakil. That's a tough one.
Taran Vanichkal.
You sound it. You make it sound better.
Enzo Tarvanichkal
from
Thailand. There got the win for OK Junior. That was listen to the broadcast before this. The first time they've won a big main event like this since a certain Alex Albon did a few years ago. Adam Hideg, from Hungary, some hard names to pronounce it, from Saudi Kart, he got into second on that runner-up spot, and then Jan Pershortsky from Poland finishing up in third. And I know we talked about the range of countries here. The top three between the two classes, all from different countries, 6 different nations represented on the podium between the two classes.
Exactly. Yeah. Racing at the Sarno facility there in Italy, one of the more popular or historic racetracks in the sport. So yeah, looking back, Alex Albon was the 2010 FIA World Cup champion in KF3 back then, driving on an Intrepid chassis. So guess who he beat that year? Any ideas?
I'm going off of a photo I've seen multiple times, but it would be George Russell and Charles Leclerc. Would they be in there?
No, maybe a current world champion.
A certain Max.
Yes, Max Verstappen. Yes. So Max was the runner-up to Albon that year. They actually were racing in Braga. So So I believe that would have been Intrepid, CRG, and Callan O'Keefe. I'm not quite sure what chassis he was on, but Yeah, so Enzo adds his name to a long list, including the only USA driver to win the Junior World Championships, Logan Sargent. That was back in 2015. So a lot of, and he's certainly made his way nearly into Formula One right now, possibly maybe next year. Charles Leclerc, 2011, Jake Dennis, 2010. Matthew Graham in 2011. So a lot of good historic names there. Freddie Slater in 2020. That was an amazing run. And Tuca, who was the runner-up this year, was actually runner-up in 2020 in the junior category. So, so it's so he did win last year. Tuca did. Okay, making sure on that. I wasn't sure, but so that's pretty solid resume to go as the junior world champion in 2020, or almost world champion, and then land on the podium. So that's 3 straight podiums for him. Amazing.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into our last break as we'll kind of hit on what's been going on with EKN in terms of editorial, the recent podcast, and what's going to be playing on the EKN Radio Network. So we'll go to our final commercial break on This Week in Karting.
The new face of competitive karting in the Pacific Northwest region is RaceLab. The full-service karting operation is located at the state-of-the-art Kartplex facility in Oliver, British Columbia, Canada, providing everything you need to hit the track or put yourself in a successful driver development program. RaceLab is the official North American distributor for the TB Kart chassis brand, providing the full range of models from kid kart to shifter kart. Villeneuve Racing Karts is their flagship product, available only through RaceLab. The brand carries the name of Formula One champion and Indianapolis 500 winner Jacques Villeneuve, with each model produced by TB Kart. Kartplex, the home of RaceLab, is situated on the grounds of the Area 27 Motorsports Park. From full arrive and drive TB Kart rentals to leagues and competition karting, the facility provides a new home to developing the future stars of motorsports, all beginning at Kartplex with RaceLab. Follow RaceLab on social media on Facebook and Instagram, or load up their website at www.theracelab.ca to learn more about TB Kart and Villeneuve Racing Karts. RaceLab. Race with us, win with us. Established in 1999, PSL Karting has become a powerhouse within the karting industry for North America and around the world. PSL Karting is your complete source for all Burrell Art products as the North American importer, providing this top quality product through both their expansive dealer network or through the PSLKarting.com online store. Whatever you need is available 24/7 online, including safety gear, parts, components, and full karting packages. All 3 brands, Burrell Art, Ricardo Kart, and Charles Leclerc Karts, are in stock and ready to hit the track. Grab your winning chassis for any category by visiting PSLKarting.com to find your nearest dealer. PSL Karting is always looking for interest in new dealers and teams to help create new business relationships. Drivers looking to take their talents to the next level can join the Burrell Art North America race team, competing at all the major US and Canadian events this season. When you're ready to win, go with PSL Karting. All over the karting world, everyone knows OTK is the gold standard for quality and performance. In the US, OTK USA is the source for all things OTK. From the legendary Tony Kart brand to the race-winning Cosmic and Esprit chassis, and now the new Red Speed and EOS brands, OTK quality is second to none. All 5 brands are winning races and championships across the country in national programs like the Rock Cup USA Florida Winter Tour and the Challenge of the Americas, the SCUSA Pro Tour and Winter Series, and the Pro Kart Challenge, the United States Pro Kart Series, and the WKA Manufacturers Cup. And OTK products are also front and center on the podium of club and regional races from coast to coast. To learn more about a specific product line, you can find the OTK USA dealer near you, whether it's Tony Kart, Cosmic, Esprit, Red Speed, or EOS. Visit www.otkusa.com. Specific chassis territories are still available, so kart shops interested in adding a winning component to their product lineups can contact OTK USA directly.
Welcome back to This Week in Karting, episode number 50, with our final segment here on October 13th, 2022. A little bit of ECAN editorial, what we've been able to do over the last 4 weeks. Certainly one story that we're kind of following over since August is the Drive to 25 Rob Howden's Super Nationals journey. We got a part 2 of that done. I'm sure he's working on part 3 as he's been busy racing and preparing his body for what will be his first Super Nationals coming up in November. So excited to see that. And then we got the driver of the month, August 2022. Isaac Malcutt, Nate, was the driver deemed to be the winner of August because he nearly won everywhere he went in August because he competed every single weekend.
Yeah. Looking at his racing record from August, I believe he competed in 6 different races, podiumed on 4 of them. The podiumed on all 6 of them, won 4 of them, excuse me. So an amazing weekend for him, and going from the Star Series to WKA to pretty much to Rock East was the other one that he went to. Just absolutely dominating and always being up front moving into this month of October when he ran at the CKNA Grand Nationals. He was up front. He won again. Just a talent to keep your eye on for sure.
Yeah, he was able to win at the WK Grand Nationals. He was able to win at the Cup Karts North America North Division finale at South Bend, so he won there. He, as you said, competed at the Stars Championship Series and also the Rock Cup Fest East program. So 4 events over the 4 weeks of the month of August, and on the podium at every single event. So a great month of August, and as you said, a great start to October, picking up that sportsman victory at the Cup Karts North America Grand National 6, which we have complete coverage of that on EKN. We were there. You were there doing all the heavy lifting, doing all the great work there, providing the social media updates and top 10 results from that weekend, but also from the United States Pro Kart Series finale, the Heartland Grand Prix event. Both of those events are available on the website, so you can get full coverage of that, including the California Pro Kart Challenge finale for the 2022 season. That race report is up and online. And then most recently, the ECAN Trackside event from the 2022 Race Road Tax US Trophy Final at Newcastle Motorsports Park. So a lot of Newcastle in there and a lot of Midwest stuff, but a lot of great race coverage over the last 4 weeks. So it's been a busy 4 weeks for us at the eKarting News offices, both in Minnesota, Michigan, and in Canada as well. So getting into podcasts, again, you can download all our podcasts available on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Podbean, and other podcast outlets that you can subscribe to. So make sure you subscribe to us, give us some reviews, and make sure you download all the different episodes we have. So going with all the coverage we have both the outlap and debriefs of the United States Pro Kart Series Heartland Grand Prix from Newcastle Motorsports Park. In between that, we were able to get in a face-to-face and hot seat. So our face-to-face was with Craig Feiner of Race Lab and the Kartplex based out of Oliver, British Columbia. A great story there, Nate. I'm sure you were able to watch it and kind of tune in, but Mr. Feiner is very emotional when it comes to motorsports and karting in general, and certainly has a great passion to be able to build not only what the TB Kart brand is, but also the Kartplex brand that they have there in British Columbia.
Yeah, and we talked about it before. It's one of the karting brands on the rise, especially with the Villeneuve kart as of recent. But you said it. It's interesting to always hear the stories and what people have to say from people who are just so passionate about the sport and the stories they bring along with it. It's a good watch, listen to, whatever you want to do. You can watch it on YouTube, can listen to it on any of our streaming services, but definitely worth a watch if you're working on your kart or just getting some work done.
Yeah, available on YouTube, available as a podcast as well. So pick your poison on how you want to either watch it or listen to it. Also, the great hot seat, we're bringing that back. We'll have another one, hopefully coming from the Super Nationals or even maybe before, depending on time. But I was able to sit down with TJ Coyne during the USPKS finale and got to kind of pick his brain as not only being one of the leading artists of our sport and helmet painter with Octane Visual, but also a driver coach with the Corsa Sport, I believe driver development or coaching program, and also being a racer. Again, he came back. He's trying to get a couple more races in before his second child is born. So he's going to be a little bit busy with 2 children under the age of 3. So that'll be a lot for the Coyne family. So he wanted to get in a couple more races in and was at the Newcastle Motorsports Park facility for that. So I think anywhere you go in the karting paddock across North America, you're going to see an Octane Visual helmet, Nate, somewhere on that grid.
Yeah, I mean, I got one. So
oh, well, there you go.
That fits in well. Most of the people who have painted helmets at our local track have Octane Visual. So yeah, it's an amazing product that TJ makes, both on the helmets and design wise, whether it's suits or graphics or anything. So again, definitely worth a watch and a listen to, that hot seat with TJ. Yeah,
great. It was a great interview. We could have went on for hours, but we cut it to an hour and a half, I believe. So, and then we have our outlap and debrief for the Cup Karts North America Grand National 6. The outlap is on radio right now, or the outlap is available as a podcast right now. We're playing debrief today on the EKN radio network. So next week, that EKN podcast for the debrief of the Race Rotax US Trophy Final will be available as a podcast right now. So again, as we're talking right now on the EKN radio network, we're actually playing Super Nationals from 2005, 2006, and 2007 on the EKN Radio Network right now. And then at noon, we'll be getting into our debrief of the Race Rotax US Trophy Final. So that'll be playing mostly today and a little bit of tomorrow. And over the weekend, we'll have kind of a good big playlist. But make sure you tune in on the EKN Radio Network. Again, the only 24-hour, 7 days a week channel dedicated to karting in the world. So make sure you listen in. We'll have some past live Super Nationals along with some maybe possibly upcoming face-to-face shows as we are home for the next couple of weeks and are able to kind of gear up and get ready for what is coming up on EKN, which will be trackside for the SuperKarts USA Super Nationals 25, November 16th through the 20th. Going to be an exciting time, but we have a lot of content that will be coming up leading up to that event. A lot of our stuff's going to even begin before we get into November. We're going to have, we're going to do some flashbacks, some look back, a little bit of a countdown as we get closer to the 25th running of the Super Nationals. So I think, October 23 is essentially when we're going to start our countdown as we look back at all 24 Super Nationals that have been competed and kind of focus on the highlight of each event from the Super Nationals. Nate, what year was it that was your first Super Nationals?
2017.
2017. So that would have been the 20th or 21st. I think it would have been the 21st. 2017. So we were in the big parking lot there outside the Westgate, correct?
Yes.
I think that was the 21st edition because then, if I recall, because 2018, 2019, we were at the Rio.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to, for 24, we went to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So, all right. So, 2017, personally for you, what stands out from that event?
Just walking in for the first time, and I think seeing all the tents and walking past CRG and Burrell and all those big names and looking into the tent and it just going on and on with carts on either side. Just the scale of the event is enormous and kind of take a step back. If you've been to a regional or a national race and you think that's big, you come to the Super Nats and this absolutely blows it out of the water.
Yeah, and I think that was the biggest footprint we've ever had for the Super Nationals in terms of parking and and the racetrack itself. We were looking right at the circus, so got to race under the lights there. It was certainly an amazing week there as our final event outside the Westgate there in the Las Vegas Convention Center. So again, looking forward to getting into the preview coverage of the Super Nationals 25, and we'll have a lot coming up in the coming weeks about that. Again, follow us on social media. Again, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Again, all the great content we're able to produce. Again, focused on the sport of karting. We'll have a lot more news coming up next week in our next episode of This Week in Karting, and we'll have some great topics to discuss there between myself and Nate Dean. So, Nate, any final words before we wrap up this episode?
Ready to get to Vegas. That's about it.
Well, we gotta wait. Again. I don't think we land there until about a month from now. So yeah, we'll November 15th be a Tuesday. Maybe you'll get in there on Monday. So maybe you go in early just so you can get that fix and that excitement done with and over on Monday. So again, looking forward to a lot of the preview stuff. That's my fun stuff. We get to do predictions. You'll be able to get your predictions in this year. So we'll actually have 3 people fighting for the best predictions from the ECAN staff. So that'll be a bit fun. So again, lots more to come. We'll have This Week in Karting next week. We'll have a lot more topics and more information for you. So again, thank you for listening in. I am David Cole, and I am David Cole. Thank you again for listening. Nate Dean, thank you for joining and being part of the show. So that's it. Thank you for listening, and make sure you download, tune in, give us a review, do all that great stuff. Until next time, thank you for listening.